This is Shred, and today we're going to be listening to the first metal song ever, which is Mars the Bringer of War by Gustav Holst. Holst was an English composer who was born in 1874 and lived until 1934. Geza Butler of Black Sabbath brought the piece to Tony Iommi and they listened to it before recording their title track, Black Sabbath. You can hear the influence of Mars the Bringer of War in that title track, and it's even in the same key of G. Later in 1980, the band Diamond Head would cover the main theme from Mars the Bringer of War in their song Am I Evil? Of course, the answer to that question is yes, I am. And then Metallica covered Diamond Head's version. Gustav Holst used power chord voicings in this piece that have become a rite of passage for any modern metal guitar player. Now, we'll be watching a live performance of the piece by the BBC Symphony Orchestra, recorded at the Royal Albert Hall in London, England. The conductor is Susanna Malky. Now, are you ready to listen to the first metal song ever? Let's do this. There's Susanna. It starts off with the main theme in the bassoons. We're in 5/4 time here in the key of G. There's the French horn player. And these are those power chord voicings I was talking about earlier. D flat tritone relationship between the G and the D flat. Now the bone players are going to give it a spin. Brass is such a metal instrument. When it plays at fortissimo volume, has this very pure distortion. Now here's a little bit of hope with something tonal, and then our dreams are dashed by dissonance. Look at that stash on the flute player. Feel the evil rising. Give it to me, Susanna. That sound right there, I love that sound. So it's a D flat major 7 chord, but with the C in the bass, which gives us like a Phrygian tonality. And by the way, I'll leave my notes that I'm making here about the music theory in the tab description below. Oh, and I also want to point out, I'm going to actually include the entire score down there, the original score. So check that out too. There's the French horns. Violin players. Here we're moving these parallel major triads around in a chromatic fashion. Enormous orchestral performing force here. Holst was a master orchestrator. Okay, a bridge modulated into B. Again, we have a little bit of hope with this tonal section. Holst was very influenced by astrology and the signs of the zodiac. Mars represents masculinity and aggression and penetration. You get the idea. Let's continue. There's an augmented chord. I like this call and response thing happening in the brass section. Look at this orchestral flurry rising. Susanna says, simmer down now on an A minor chord. This is one of my favorite parts. There's that theme we heard before just creeping in. It's like we're flowing down the river Styx towards our imminent demise. There's the bassoon players. So evil. Okay, now we're about ready to go back to that main theme. And we're moving, this is actually theme number 2 here, moving first inversion triads around now in a chromatic way. But they're major chords, so major can be evil. Alright, here's the Diamond Head section. Right, that's the Diamond Head "Am I Evil" song, and also covered by Metallica. I want to make another note here. When you're writing music, pedal tones or reoccurring pitches are so important. If you look at the score, like most of the orchestra is just playing a G note. You know, we need that solid foundation. Flat against G pedal tone, ultimate evil. And that tonal section again. D flat to G. With that augmented sound in there. These guys are the best in the world at what they do, these orchestral players. Unbelievable. Chromatic triads. And Susanna does a great job on this. Really brings it to life. Extra points for the stash. There's the timpani player. This part's great. There's a suspension. The resolution. It's like a D Lydian suspension with the sharp 4. And then down to the major 3rd. Gorgeous. The sound of overdriven brass. It's just so, it's like the most pure distortion. More orchestral flurries. Some evil syncopated tritone hits. Now there's the final chord. An epic C power chord. Unbelievably evil. If you're interested in learning how to analyze music, you got to learn a little bit about music theory. Now, I have an intro to music theory course that I'll put in the description below. What's it going to cost you? Just your soul. There I discuss things like key signatures, or how you know what notes are in what key, triads or in chords, augmented, major, minor, diminished, intervals or the distance between 2 notes. It's very important to understand scales because music draws from the notes in scales. Now I want to know, what piece would you like to see me analyze next? Leave your suggestion in the comments below, and until next time, stay evil.